Have you ever passed by an old house and wondered about the purpose of a tiny door or a lone toilet in the middle of a basement? Before the boom of modern technology, homes were full of countless architectural features that were incredibly unique. Sometimes they were quirky to the point of disbelief, yet they were also smart and convenient, shaping people's daily lives. Today we're going to explore 30 of these unique innovations that were once highlights in home architecture, but are now largely forgotten. Get ready for a journey filled with nostalgia and knowledge. Wall plates/anchor plates. You might easily spot these unique metal plates, often shaped like an S, X, or star on the outside of old brick or stone houses. At first glance, they may seem like simple decorations, but they were actually an essential part of a home's structural reinforcement system, playing a crucial role in keeping walls sturdy. These plates were connected to long iron rods that ran through the walls, which helped prevent them from bulging or collapsing over time. This was especially important for older brick and stone buildings, which lacked the strength of modern materials. Today, because of significant advancements in construction techniques, like the use of steel frames and reinforced concrete house structures, are much more robust. As a result, these wall plates have become obsolete and are no longer used in new constructions. However, they remain on old homes as historical symbols, reminding us of the ingenuity of past generations of architects and builders. Coal chute door. If you've ever visited an old house, especially in a large city or cold climate, you may have noticed a small iron door near the foundation. This is a coal chute door, a very common feature before modern heating systems existed. Back then, coal was the main fuel for heating, and coal delivery people would pour coal directly through this door into the basement. The homeowner would then shovel the coal from the basement into the furnace to heat the house. This was a convenient process because the delivery person didn't have to enter the house, and it reduced the amount of dust in the living space. However, the invention of natural gas and electric heating systems completely changed how we heat our homes. These methods are not only more efficient and cleaner, but also much more convenient. Consequently, coal furnaces and coal chute doors gradually became obsolete. Today, while they no longer serve their original purpose, many of these iron doors still exist as relics of a bygone era. Built-in phone nooks and landline phone jacks. In old houses, you might discover decorative recessed niches or small shelves built directly into the walls. These were built-in phone nooks designed to hold bulky landline phones. They often included a small shelf for phone books or pens, showing how home designs were tailored to the communication needs of the era. They were often accompanied by landline phone jacks, small, square outlets that were spread throughout the house to allow phones to be connected in various locations. Being able to plug in a phone anywhere in the house was a huge technological advancement at the time. However, with the explosion of mobile phones and wireless communication, the role of landlines has completely disappeared. Now we can carry the whole world in our pockets. Today, built-in phone nooks are often creatively repurposed as decorative display spaces for small items. Ice door. At the back of many old houses, you might find a peculiar small door, often leading directly into the pantry. This is an ice door, an essential feature before modern refrigerators were invented. To keep food fresh, people used ice boxes, insulated cabinets that were cooled by large blocks of ice. The ice door allowed the ice delivery person to place the ice block directly into the ice box without having to enter the house. This was convenient and also helped to maintain the family's privacy and hygiene. It was a smart solution for preserving food with the limited technology of the time. However, the invention of the modern refrigerator completely changed the game. Refrigerators provided continuous, efficient, and much more convenient cooling, which made the purchase and delivery of ice unnecessary. Today, these ice doors are rarely seen in modern homes. Laundry chute. In multi-story homes from the early to mid-20th century, the laundry chute was a simple yet incredibly practical feature. Instead of carrying baskets of dirty laundry down from upper floors, people could just toss them into the chute. Thanks to gravity, the clothes would fall directly to the laundry room, which saved a lot of time and effort. It was a testament to the clever design aimed at making household chores easier. Despite their convenience, laundry chutes gradually lost popularity due to safety concerns, particularly the risk of small children getting hurt or falling in. Also, changes in modern home layouts, where laundry rooms are often on the same floor as bedrooms, made this feature less necessary. However, with the trend of personalization and a desire for convenience, some modern homeowners are considering bringing them back as a creative custom feature. Pittsburgh potty. The Pittsburgh potty is perhaps one of the strangest and most confusing features to see for the first time. It's an exposed toilet in the middle of a basement with no surrounding walls or privacy. The Pittsburgh potty was very common in industrial cities in the US before World War II. Its main purpose was to serve workers in heavy industries like steelworkers or miners. After a shift full of dirt and sweat, they would go straight to the basement to clean up, change clothes, and use the toilet before entering the family's living areas. This helped prevent dirt and grime from contaminating the house. Clearly, functionality was more important than modesty. Today, most of these toilets have either been removed or enclosed with walls to provide privacy. Pantry. A pantry is a separate storage space for food and kitchen equipment that was once an essential feature in most homes. It could be a small built-in cabinet or a spacious walk-in pantry, depending on the size of the house. The primary purpose of a pantry was to keep main kitchen cabinets tidy by storing dry goods, canned goods, bulk spices, and appliances that weren't used often. This freed up valuable space in the main kitchen. However, in modern kitchen design, the trend often favors larger built-in cabinets or open concept spaces, which sometimes reduces the need for a separate pantry. Nevertheless, with the increasing need for storage and a desire for an organized kitchen, a pantry is still a must-have feature for many people when buying or building a home. Its excellent ability to organize and free up main kitchen cabinet space remains a major benefit for many modern families. Ceiling beds or Saurian beds. Have you ever wished for a living space so flexible that your bed could completely disappear when it's not being used? Ceiling beds, also known as Saurian beds, were a solution to this. Patented in 1913, this was a creative space-saving design where the bed was lowered from the ceiling using a counterweight and crank system. When not in use, it could be raised and neatly tucked away into a ceiling recess, freeing up the entire floor space below. Despite being very clever, ceiling beds did not become as popular as their cousin the Murphy bed, which folds into a wall. This may have been due to the complexity of the mechanism or the installation costs. However, with rising real estate prices and shrinking apartments, these unique beds are experiencing a small comeback in modern micro-apartments. They are seen as an innovative way to maximize square footage and create multifunctional spaces. Push-button light switches. Before the toggle or rocker switches that are common today, push-button light switches were prevalent in the early 1900s. They featured two buttons, one to turn the light on and another to turn it off. This design had a classic feel and a very distinct operation, making it an iconic feature of homes from that era. However, over time, these buttons were prone to sticking, which was inconvenient for users. Even more dangerously, if the internal wiring overheated due to a malfunction, they posed a potential fire hazard. These limitations in durability and safety led to their gradual replacement by more modern, safer, and more durable switch types. Boot scrapers. As you walk past old houses, especially near the main entrance, you might notice a small cast iron fixture low to the ground. This is a boot scraper, an essential item in an era when roads were mainly dirt and horses were the main mode of transportation. The purpose of a boot scraper was for people to scrape off mud dirt or even horse manure from their boots before entering the house. This helped keep the indoor floors clean and prevented outdoor grime from being tracked inside. With the development of transportation infrastructure, as roads were paved and cars replaced horses, the need for boot scrapers significantly diminished. Today, they are no longer a necessary item. However, you can still find them in historic neighborhoods or well-preserved homes. Root cellars. Before modern refrigerators became widespread, root cellars were an essential food storage space in many homes. This was a cool, dark space often built entirely or partially underground. Its main purpose was to preserve vegetables, fruits, and other perishable foods for long periods without electricity. Thanks to the natural insulation of the earth, root cellars could maintain a cool and stable temperature all year. This helped extend the shelf life of produce, ensuring a food supply for families throughout long winters or large harvests. However, the invention of the modern refrigerator made root cellars obsolete for most families. The convenient and flexible cold storage of refrigerators completely replaced the cellar's function. Nevertheless, some people still use root cellars today, especially in rural areas for storing organic produce, aging cheese, or keeping wine. They are a symbol of self-sufficiency and a lifestyle close to nature. Razor blade disposal slots. Imagine standing in the bathroom of an old house and noticing a mysterious small slot inside the built-in medicine cabinet. This is a razor blade disposal slot, a feature that seems strange but was very practical before modern razors existed. At that time, people commonly used double-edged safety razors, and safely disposing of old blades was an issue. This slot was designed so you could slide used blades inside where they would fall into the hollow space between walls or beneath the floor. The idea was out of sight, out of mind. This helped avoid danger for cleaners and kept the bathroom tidy. With the invention of modern disposable razors or safety blade containers, this feature became unnecessary. However, it's fascinating that many old houses still have a hidden hoard of razor blades inside their walls, sometimes only discovered during major renovations or repairs. It's a small but intriguing detail about the history of personal hygiene. Dumbwaiters. Have you ever dreamed of a house where food could magically move between floors? That's exactly what a dumbwaiter did. These are small elevators, often operated by a simple pulley system, that were designed to transport food, dishes, and other household items between floors. They were especially useful in large homes where the kitchen and dining room might be on different levels, reducing the effort for homeowners or staff. Imagine the convenience of not having to go up and down stairs dozens of times just to bring food. However, with changes in modern home layouts, kitchens and dining rooms are often closer together. Along with the development of kitchen appliances and simpler lifestyles, dumbwaiters are typically no longer used. Today, many of these dumbwaiters are repurposed into unique storage spaces or simply sealed off, becoming a retired architectural feature of the house. Servant stairs. In grand estates and old mansions, you might find a second set of stairs, which are narrower, steeper, and often hidden behind small doors. These are servant stairs. Their purpose was to allow service staff to move between floors without disturbing homeowners and guests. This helped maintain privacy and respect for the social hierarchy of the time. Instead of using the formal main staircase, servants would use this private passage to do household chores, bring food to rooms, or clean. This design clearly reflected the social structure and lifestyle of the upper class in the past. Today, as home models and society have changed, servant stairs are rarely seen outside of historic homes and preserved mansions. Servant floor buttons. Following the idea of dividing space and roles in grand estates, servant floor buttons are another unique detail. This was a small, discreet button, often placed under a rug or dining table. Its purpose was for homeowners to summon the butler or service staff quietly and discreetly by pressing it with their foot. This button was connected to a bell or buzzer system, usually located in the kitchen or staff area. This allowed homeowners to request assistance without having to call out loudly or leave the dining table. It was a symbol of convenience and power for wealthy families of old. With changes in family structures and live-in staff no longer being common, Most of these buttons are no longer functional. However, they still exist in many old houses as relics of a past era telling the story of a lifestyle that no longer exists. Milk doors. In the past, before refrigerators were common in every home, daily fresh milk delivery was a convenient and essential service. Many old houses were equipped with a mysterious small door integrated directly into the side of the house. This was the milk door. The milk delivery person would place full bottles through this compartment and simultaneously retrieve the empty ones from the day before. This allowed for quick delivery and collection without disturbing the homeowner or entering the living space. It was a great example of home design that was optimized for the utility services of the time. However, the significant advancement of the household refrigerator and the development of grocery stores made home milk delivery less necessary. Consumers could now buy milk in larger quantities and store it in their refrigerators. Today, many of these milk doors still exist, though they are often sealed shut or repurposed for other uses. Transom windows. If you look above a door in an old house, you might see a small horizontal pane of glass. That's a transom window. Before electric lighting systems became widespread, these windows were extremely important. They allowed natural light to pass through, helping to brighten dark spaces like hallways, which often didn't have large windows. What's more, many transom windows could be opened, which allowed for better natural airflow. This helped regulate indoor temperature before air conditioning, especially on hot days. They were a smart solution for making the most of natural light and ventilation. However, the development of artificial lighting and HVAC technology made transom windows less functionally necessary. Nevertheless, they are still valued for their timeless beauty and classic architectural appeal. Some modern homeowners are even bringing them back into home designs to enhance natural light and ventilation while also providing a charming vintage look. Picture rails. If you look closely in historic homes, you'll see a thin strip of molding running along the upper part of the wall just below the ceiling. This is a picture rail, a feature that was extremely popular from the mid-1800s. During that period, most walls were made of fragile plaster, which was easily damaged if nails were driven directly into them to hang pictures. Picture rails elegantly solved this problem. By using movable hooks that could be placed along the rail, people could hang artwork with cords without damaging the walls. This also allowed for easy repositioning or removal of art without leaving marks. With the invention of more durable building materials like drywall in the 1940s, nailing directly into walls became simpler and less damaging, causing picture rails to gradually become obsolete. However, they are still commonly seen in historic homes. Interestingly, some modern homeowners are bringing picture rails back into their designs because they love the classic charm it brings and the convenience of redecorating without drilling into walls. Home intercom systems. In an era when mobile phones and the internet were still science fiction, communicating between rooms in a large house could be quite difficult, often requiring a lot of shouting or walking. That's why home intercom systems were created. These were wired devices permanently installed in walls in various rooms, allowing homeowners to talk between different rooms or floors easily and privately. Some systems even included a front door intercom, which allowed homeowners to speak with guests without opening the door. This was a symbol of convenience and modernity in luxurious homes of that time. However, the growth of mobile phones and smart home technology made traditional intercom systems obsolete. Now, we can text call with smartphones or even use smart doorbells with cameras to communicate with guests remotely. Today, many old intercom systems are often just decorative relics rather than functional tools. Pocket doors. Among old house features, pocket doors are an extremely smart and flexible design solution. Unlike traditional swinging doors that take up space when opening and closing, pocket doors are designed to slide seamlessly into a recess within the wall. This saves a lot of floor space and creates excellent flexibility for living areas. You can easily turn an open space into two separate rooms when you need privacy, or open them up to create a larger space when you're hosting parties. This is a brilliant idea for quickly changing the layout and function of a room. Despite their many benefits, pocket doors are less common in modern construction, partly due to complex installation costs and the need for special wall space. However, with the increasing demand for optimizing living space and creating flexibility, pocket doors are becoming loved by many and are being brought back into contemporary home designs. Defined room layouts. When you step into an old house, you'll often notice a distinct difference from modern homes. They tend to have more smaller, diversely shaped rooms, and each room is often separated by multiple doors. This is known as a defined room layout, a design style that prioritized privacy and energy efficiency. In the past, closing off individual rooms helped maintain privacy for different activities, while also allowing heating or cooling to be concentrated in occupied areas, avoiding energy waste for the entire house. Each room had a distinct function. Living room, dining room, bedrooms, etc. were all clearly separated. However, the open concept trend has become extremely popular in modern design, emphasizing spaciousness, connected spaces, and an airy feel. Nevertheless, many modern homebuyers still express a fondness for clearly defined spaces. They seek more privacy, less noise, and the cozy, purposeful feel that defined room layouts provide. Built-in kitchen desk. In the kitchens of old houses, you might be surprised to find a small workspace cleverly integrated into the overall kitchen design. This wasn't an extra dining table, but a functional workspace. Its original purpose was often a place for the landline phone, a small nook for children to do homework, or where the homemaker could pay bills and manage household tasks. This was a convenient solution that efficiently utilized space in a room that was often the center of all family activities. However, with the invention of laptops, smartphones, and the rise of dedicated workspaces or home offices, kitchen desks have become obsolete. Now, we can work anywhere in the house with our mobile devices. Nevertheless, some people still find these desks useful for things like placing printers, charging devices, or simply as a small space for notes. Knob and tube wiring. Knob and tube wiring is one of the earliest widely used electrical systems, which was common from approximately 1880 to 1930. This system consisted of single insulated copper wires that ran freely through hollow spaces in walls and ceilings. To insulate the wires where they passed through wood framing and to hold them in place, small ceramic tubes and porcelain knobs were used. This was a groundbreaking solution at the time, allowing electricity to be brought into every room of the house. However, with the increasing power demands of modern appliances, this system was gradually considered a potential fire hazard. The wire's insulation could become brittle or damaged over time, and more importantly, this system lacked a grounding feature, which is a basic safety element in modern electrical systems. Therefore, most houses with knob and tube wiring need to have their electrical systems upgraded to ensure safety and comply with current standards. Large front porches or wraparound porches. If you wander through old neighborhoods, you'll easily spot houses with spacious, airy porches, often wrapping around multiple sides of the house. These are large front porches or verandas, and this feature was very common in classic homes. Their purpose was to provide an ideal outdoor space for leisure relaxation or social interaction. Imagine families gathering on the porch on summer evenings, chatting with neighbors, or simply reading and enjoying the fresh air. This was an essential part of community life and connectivity between families. However, modern home designs often feature smaller porches that are more decorative than functional living spaces. Changes in lifestyle, more private living trends, and increased use of backyards have reduced the role of front porches. Nevertheless, these large porches are still highly sought after because they bring a sense of nostalgia, peace, and are a wonderful space to enjoy the outdoors and connect with the community. Mudroom. A mudroom is a small but incredibly practical utility room, often located near a secondary entrance of the house. This space was specifically designed for people to take off dirty clothes, shoes, or other soiled items without tracking dirt into the main living areas of the house. Mudrooms were often equipped with shoe racks, coat hooks, and sometimes even a small sink for quick cleanup. This was a perfect solution for keeping the house clean, especially after outdoor activities, gardening, or when you had pets. However, in modern home designs, mudrooms are often completely eliminated or downsized to optimize the building area. This sometimes leads to shoes and coats cluttering the main entrance. Nevertheless, mudrooms are still highly valued for their practicality and utility. They are especially useful for families with small children, pets, or those living in climates with frequent rain or snow. Specialized closets. In houses built in the past, having specialized closets like broom closets and linen closets was very common and taken for granted. Broom closets were specifically designed to neatly store long cleaning tools like brooms, vacuum cleaners, and mops, ensuring they didn't clutter corners of the house. Meanwhile, linen closets were the perfect place to store bed linens, towels, blankets, and other laundry items, keeping them clean and organized. These closets helped optimize household organization. However, in many new home designs today, these specialized closets are often missing or replaced by a few small, insufficient cabinets. The trend of space minimalism sometimes eliminates these practical storage features. Nevertheless, broom closets and linen closets are still considered important functional features. They help homeowners easily keep the house tidy and organized, and are a feature many look for when choosing a home. Large utility sinks or concrete slop sinks. In the basement or laundry room of many old houses, you might find a huge sink, often made of concrete. This is a large utility sink, also known as a concrete slop sink. Its size and durable material show its very versatile and practical purpose. This sink was used to wash soiled clothes, empty dirty mop buckets, bathe pets, or wash other large items that you wouldn't want to wash in a kitchen sink. It was especially useful for tasks involving dirt paint or heavy grime. This was an extremely convenient cleanup solution for messy tasks. However, the invention of modern washing machines and smaller, more contemporary utility sinks made these huge concrete sinks less common. Nevertheless, they are still desired by many for their incredible durability and versatility. Whole house exhaust fans or attic fans. Before air conditioning became widespread, whole house exhaust fans, also known as attic fans, were a very effective and smart cooling solution. This was a large fan installed on the ceiling or in the attic. Its purpose was to pull hot air from inside the house outwards, while drawing cool air from outside inwards through open windows. This created a strong airflow, helping to quickly and effectively cool the entire house, especially at night when outdoor temperatures dropped. It was an energy-efficient way to keep the house comfortable during hot months. However, with the widespread popularity and superior efficiency of air conditioning units, whole house fans gradually lost their dominant position. Nevertheless, they are still highly valued for their ability to quickly ventilate, effectively remove odors, and provide natural cooling, especially in certain climates where air conditioning isn't always necessary. Conversation pits. If you step into a living room designed in the 1960s or 70s, you might encounter an unusual seating area, a circular or square space sunken deep into the floor, often with built-in seating around a table or fireplace. This was a conversation pit, a unique interior design trend of that era. Its main purpose was to encourage intimate conversations and create a cozy, close-knit feeling among those sitting in it. Sitting at eye level with each other in a separate space isolated from the rest of the room created an ideal environment for open communication. It was a symbol of comfort and style of the 60s and 70s. However, safety concerns, like the risk of tripping, along with a shift in interior design trends towards more open and flexible spaces, caused conversation pits to gradually disappear. Built-in shelves or china cabinets. One of the distinctive charms of old houses is the presence of built-in shelves and cabinets, which were often constructed directly into the wall structure. These shelves often featured intricate wooden details, elaborate decorative moldings, and sometimes glass doors to display precious china sets. They not only provided functional storage space, but also added a unique charm character and personality to the home. Instead of using freestanding furniture, built-in cabinets were considered an integral part of the architecture, creating a sense of luxury and permanence. However, with the current minimalist design and open concept trends, many new homes have eliminated or minimized these elements to create a more open feel. Nevertheless, built-in shelves and cabinets are still loved by many for their timeless aesthetic value and efficient storage capabilities. They bring personality and depth to the house, making the space much cozier and more soulful. They are small details that tell a whole story about the art of living and architectural aesthetics. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic journey back in time. If you enjoy stories about the past and want to discover more forgotten mysteries in architecture and daily life, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with your friends and family.